First one got me like pretty bad with hot Cheetos.
That's true. Alright, we are here in the media tent right now. Me and Tori, Charles and Tori here are going to be having a little discussion for you guys that we feel is kind of important.
Go ahead and tell everybody about your military experience and what you did.
For all those that don't know who I am, hi, I'm Charles. I am standing in solidarity with the Occupy Pittsburgh movement, and I stand in solidarity with all those other Occupies out there right now. And I'm an ex-military veteran of this current campaign. I was first put into combat when I was 18 years old. I signed up for the Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps. And
when did you sign up?
I was 17.
What year?
2002. I signed up. In 2003, they sent me to Guantanamo for a 6-month stint for security. And after Guantanamo, I participated in the Farah province raids back in 2004, as well as the Kandahar province. Me and Tori here are both veterans. He's Navy, I'm Marine Corps. And we feel that right now, a lot of these corporations are funding this war campaign unjustly. And the reasons why we're over there is not what we hear about in the media every day. So we're going to give you, from our own personal views and opinions, which does not reflect the whole sentiments of the Occupy movement. These are just two individual vets' ideas and opinions. So I hope you guys enjoy and hope it's informative and helps you guys understand a little bit more about why we're here.
Well, my name's Tori. I served 4 years in the Navy. I was actually one of the lucky ones. I spent my time on probably the safest place that you can be in the military, which is an aircraft carrier. Did one 6-month cruise over in Bosnia. Part of that, we were actually pulled over to the Red Sea, do some tours off of the coast of Iraq. My tour was pretty much uneventful. Again, this is going back to 92, 93, 94 time frame when the Bosnia-Yugoslavia war was going on. For me, the toughest thing about that whole thing was basically just watching one side annihilate the other. And then not being able to do anything about it. We essentially prevented them from defending themselves. That's another war, another decade ago. But I think what we need to talk about is the current war and the current situation that we're dealing with.
But it does help to understand, I believe, about this whole Bosnia as well as that Stone Desert show, because it was like a precursor to why we're there now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a religious war that was going on with them. But personally, I feel that this is, in my opinion, about war. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of the term peak oil or done any research on it. But if you look at Mexico and you see what their oil reserves were, and you see what their actual output is now, you would see that they reached peak oil about 2 to 3 years ago. Britain has reached peak oil. A number of other countries have as well. Personally, I think that if you actually do the research, that you will see that has to be the reason that there's no other reason but energy. So why do you think that we're over there, Charles?
I concur with the whole oil statements, because those have been actually founded in not only our media, but as well as a lot of vets you can go and talk to in your community, and they'll tell you the same thing. But for me personally, when I first went in, I agreed with this war because I believed what our politicians as well as our commander-in-chief told us was the reason why we went over there, which was supposed to be counteractive measures against the uh, radical Muslims that came over and bombed our trade centers, and that we were there to kind of police the country, as if you will, to keep a monitor and on the Al Qaeda and their movements. And what I had saw during Guantanamo stint over there is something that I would not wish anyone at 18 or any time in their life at all to have seen or even participated in, because those were your orders. And the hardest thing I think right now for a military soldier is when we are given an order to do something in the military, and if you're like-minded like we were, when we all go in wanting to make a career out of this so we can have a good future for our families, something that we could say we worked hard for and sacrificed for, unlike these corporations. And I think the biggest problem right now is we have corporations funding this war campaign behind the scenes by sending money over to these radical regimes, as well as just buying free trade with them. If with us trading with Iraq and Iran and Palestine and all these other countries, it gives them somewhat of a foothold and over there to say, well, you know what? We don't like the way your government's doing things. We're going to use your own weapons against you, which has happened here in our country in the past. We have funded these countries, have went in to help put in a democratic system that a lot of them have rebelled against and said, you know what, this is just like too much for us. We're not ready for it right now. But, thanks anyway for coming and blowing our cities up.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. One, what did you think about Blackwater and all the other private companies that were essentially, you had essentially mercenaries going in that were getting paid, sometimes upward over $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I believe it was
really the exact same job that the military is supposed to be doing.
Yes, they're what we call paramilitant troopers. Blackwater, they had a thing going that when there are people going over there, which were mercenaries, they were getting paid by the security firm themselves because they marketed themselves under a private security firm logo, that anything you made was untaxable up to $120K a year. Most mercenaries, the way it goes is we get paid. Say if I was to go into Blackwater and offer my services because I am a vet and say, you know what, I will help you guys in what you guys are doing over there, they're going to pay me, say, $50,000 for an operation. So realistically, if each operation that goes on is $50,000 paid, in 3 operations, you got to claim it on taxes. With a lot of our troops over there, we were kind of put on the exacerbation list because, if you will, we had Blackwater doing everything for us, and a lot of the times they got in the way of our military operations that are actually funded and sanctioned by our government, and we were supposed to be there for a reason. Blackwater, however, was not supposed to be there. That said, the president didn't say, okay, all you Blackwater mercenaries mobilize and ship out with our units. They never shipped out with us. Me personally, I've had a run-in with 2 people that worked for Blackwater who are now managing their security firm under the trademark Blackwell Securities. They have a firm in West Virginia right now down in Charleston. And I hear some other firms have been springing up all over our nation too, which are the same.
Well, I'm sure you know who makes up Blackwater.
Corporations.
Corporations. I mean, the actual people that they hire.
Ex-military.
Right. But specifically, usually, the special forces.
Yes. Anyone from like Force Recon Unit, if you're in the Marine Corps, We have a lot of the airborne unit troops from the Army, as well as Army Rangers. I think a lot of them have actually been Navy SEALs, and Force Recon is what they're using the most of, which gives the Navy and the Marines a very bad reputation, saying that, well, all a Marine and a Navy man does when they come home is go to work for a mercenary organization, which is not true. A lot of us come home and we try to start our lives from where we left off. And it's hard for a lot of us, especially if you're like me, that suffer with post-traumatic stress disorder or that can't get their benefits, which is almost every vet that comes home. They have a model now that the VA is putting out to any vet that gets denied their benefits that classifies, if you were diagnosed and discharged with PTSD, they'll harbor behind the excuse that, well, you have repressive anger issues, which means their psychiatrist, which we have to go through right now to get cleared for VA disability, their psychiatrists say, oh, well, you don't have PTSD, Mr. Charles or Mr. Torrey. You have repressive anger issue, which could be something that stems from your childhood growing up. So, therefore,
basically trying to take the blame off the military,
yes,
so they don't have to pay.
It's what it is. It's the military's way of saying, you know what? Thank you for sacrificing what you did for your country, but we don't have to pay you because we're going to harbor behind the excuse that you got repressive anger, and let them find any kind of discrepancy of a misdemeanor for a domestic in your background or from when you came home or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, you put the wrong date on a piece
You
of
put the
paper.
wrong date on a piece of paper, they're going to use it against you. You put the wrong MOS number on a piece of paper, they're going to use it against you like, oh, well, you know, he was just retarded, or, you know, he's delusional. So it is very hard right now for vets coming home from this current conflict to actually get their benefits. A little bit about me and why I am so opposed to this war now. When I went in, I was all for it. The only time I got to see home was for 2 weeks. I came back to bury my first wife because she killed herself 6 months pregnant with my baby. I was going to be having a girl. We had just found out about it. She killed herself because she did not know when I was coming home, and it would take sometimes 2 weeks to 3 weeks for my letters to get home to her because we were always moving. We don't have like a post office we can go to and mail our letters out. For one, they have to be screened before we send a letter out. Our military screens them. If we say anything that we weren't supposed to or that we wouldn't even think would be a threat to our operation, they mark it out. They black it out. I've seen some letters from that my mom kept on my letters that are like paragraphs taken out and blacked out by Sharpie that, if you remember correctly, you know, of some of the ones I wrote, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't think what I said was, you know, very bad. So, I mean, it's very hard for us vets right now, and people need to understand that the men and women that are over there right now are doing this because they believe in this country. They don't believe in the corporations that are backing it necessarily, but they believe in the thought and the ideology of why this country was created for democracy, and that's what we're fighting for, as well as the Occupy movement. I feel that we are, and let me stress again, my views are my views. They do not reflect the whole Occupy's views. I just stand in solidarity with the movement. I feel that by us taking on these big corporations right now, once we take out these corporations, the war funding is going to stop. The drug funding is going to stop that these businesses actually take part in on the shady side of things. And our troops are going to come home. We're going to have better health care benefits. We're going to be able to get our VA pension plans. We're going to be able to get our VA benefits. We're going to be able to use our GI Bill. We're going to be able to use our VA loan. We're going to be able to get our $10,000 sign-on bonus that, you know, the National Guard gives to people nowadays. You know, we're going to get all this stuff that has been denied to us, as well as in the private sector. You know, you got teachers and union workers and people that are losing their jobs, losing their pensions, that are losing their health care. My dad personally right now is in his 15th back surgery. His back is collapsing in on him. And my mom has what they call Aetna insurance, which is a high premium, used to be very good insurance company that covered a lot of stuff. But after his 5th back surgery, said, you know what? We're not going to cover any more medicine. We're not going to cover any more surgeries. We're just going to let his back collapse in on him because the corporations say it costs too much money to fix that one person. Just like with UPMC right now. They're saying that I saw in a paper, I think it was the Wall Street or maybe it was the Pittsburgh Tribune, that said that because fewer people are coming down with cancer, they're making money off of it.
Do you know how much the CEO of Aetna makes?
No, I don't.
$10,800 an hour.
Wow.
He makes $10,800 an hour.
Craig's on here.
Let me give you an example of one of the reasons why I'm here. My daughter has type 1 diabetes. She was diagnosed about 2 years ago. We have our health insurance through Highmark Healthcare. They're a not-for-profit organization. The CEO there makes $1,800 an hour. They just fired 100 Pittsburgh employees, and they just outsourced their jobs to India. They just raised the rates on all the low-income people, myself included. So now I'm going to have to pay more money in insurance every month, while this guy makes $1,800 an hour. My wife is an oncology nurse. The CEO of Highmark makes in a week what my wife makes in a year. Now, my wife goes to work every day. She has to deal with patients that are dying. She has to deal with family members. She has to wipe butts. She has to empty bedpans. And I can't see the CEO sitting down with my wife and him explaining to her why he deserves that kind of pay. And then, of course, you have the fight with UPMC and the other healthcare that's going on. I mean, this is getting absolutely ridiculous. And I understand the free market, I understand capitalism, and I don't have a problem with any of that. But what I do have a problem with is someone that makes that much money and says, no, I should only pay a 50% tax rate, while I'm sitting there paying somewhere around a 35-40% tax rate. And I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think that $1,800 for a not-for-profit organization, where you're a CEO, he didn't build this company. Other people built this company for him. And other people run this company. Without the salespeople, without the janitors, without the people taking out the garbage, the company would be nothing. I mean, when you have the executives come in and they go to the bathroom, and if they saw that the bathroom was disgusting and there's crap all over the toilet seat, they're not going to want to come back. And the individual that is tasked with making sure that environment is clean and is getting paid crap. Paid, minimum wage, probably works 38 hours a week so that they don't have to pay, for his health insurance. When I get like this, I apologize. I just get I'm lost for words.
But it's just. It is.
It's what it just.
It's just what you're, the way you're feeling is a just feeling. It's not something that is not, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with us, but in my opinion, it is a just feeling. My mom is working 4 jobs right now, 2 daytime jobs and 2 nighttime jobs. To pay for my dad's medicine.
Right here, Hellhound is a Army vet from Iraq. I just wanted to say thank you, sir.
Thank you for serving, Hellhound. We just not caught that. He heard the roll call from last night, too. Thank you guys for joining in our streams last night. Also, and thank you for joining us now. And what's the status of the juice box currently right now?
Correct. Oh, it's not running. Let me see.
We haven't put the bikerator out today because it was raining, but
It should be hooked up to. Yeah, Craig. The solar panel is hooked up, but the box does not seem to be charging.
It's
It's
just
overcast right now,
yeah.
so
and it's still registering low power. And I think didn't we take some turns on the bike yesterday? People did.
yeah. But it doesn't seem to be charging. So I don't think that the guys from Juice Box actually came by yesterday.
And Sammy had to take her bike to run and get her paycheck.
So Sandy took her bike to go get her paycheck. She'll be back later.
RK wants everyone to know that he is proud of each and every one of us taking part in this movement. Thank you for joining us. Now back to our little discussion. We
Thank
got
you,
weapons
Professor.
specialist.
I see Professor A.N. He was Commander Vet, Middle East, 1973. Thank you, sir.
His son served in Afghanistan. Thank you. Thank you, and tell your son that if he's still over there, I hope he comes home safe and more intact than what I am. But yeah, as I was saying, with these insurance companies right now, we'll just focus on that for a minute. Like we were talking about with Aetna, that man makes $10,800 an hour, but yet he cannot afford to spend at least maybe say 10% of that an hour to put back into his own insurance company to help us little people out. He wants to hoard all that money for himself and fund his own agenda.
Well, think about it. If he just took a week's salary for the year, I mean, that's what, $50,000, $60,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good wage for an average person.
Yeah.
Now you take those other 51 weeks, that's 51 additional employees that you can hire.
And no, whoever made that comment, we only answer to veterans. That is not true. It's just very hard to type and talk at the same time. We are sorry that we haven't been able to respond to everyone. We are, working on that. This is only my second or third live stream so far. So
we are watching you, DZ.
Yes, we are watching you, DZ.
I'm trying to type some answers. Just FYI.
And we got a backup guy right here trying to type some answers to you all. So. But,
well, do you guys have any questions for us?
Yes.
We're sitting here just rambling on.
Yeah, stop us anytime.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your experience in Gitmo, if you don't mind.
What was
Like
there?
how it affected me?
Well, how was the treatment of the prisoners? How was the mentality of the staff there? How?
I don't know if you guys saw that that photo that got put out with all them people that we supposedly put into a pile that were naked.
Well,
Yeah,
that was great.
Abu Ghraib. Well, they've had some other stuff come out like that with Guantanamo and certain smaller websites. We don't do anything like that over there in Guantanamo. Abu Ghraib, those pictures were actually from as far as what I know, being in the military at that time, was they were computer generated. They were not that wasn't the whole real story behind it. That was more like a smear campaign, I guess, to kind of, to fund against the war right now. But what we were doing right now, and or when I was over there at 18, if you were to equate their sanitary conditions with, say, here, there is no equation. There is no sanitary conditions for those prisoners that we take and hold over there. We deny them basic civil liberties union. Nigel said it was a smear campaign. So, yeah. We take all basic human decency from them.
He's actually saying that it wasn't.
Oh,
which
okay.
Actually, I have to agree with him on that. So
Really? Okay.
we do have
We do have a difference there.
If you don't mind, just focus on your personal experiences in Gitmo and what it meant, what it was like for you.
Me personally, I was just following orders. I was, if you will, a pawn for our government. Do I agree with what we did over there? No, I don't. And I will say that now. I do not agree with what I did over there and what I had to do and the treatment that we treated these prisoners. We looked at them as if they were not humans, like they were just dogs. No, like a stray dog you would find on the curb and just kick away from you. That's the way we treated our prisoners over there. We fed them, we gave them water every now and then. At any point in time, if our XO felt like he wanted to be a dick about it, we would deny sunlight recreation for them. They would not see sun. We would keep them in what we call solitary confinement for weeks, sometimes months on end, which is a psychological tactic that when we deprive someone of seeing the sunlight and fresh air, and they have to be in a dark room with all four walls enclosing on them, it hurts them more psychologically than it does physically, because a lot of people take this outside air and light for granted until we are denied that. Also, we will starve them. We use starvation tortures as well as waterboarding. For those of you who are not familiar with waterboarding, what it is it's a psychological warfare tactic that we take a person, we put a cover over their head. They can't see what's going on. They don't know up from down. And that particular statement is important to understand, because we strap them to this board and we recline them, upside down into, on a dry surface. We incline them at like a 45-degree angle, upside down, and we pour water over the face mask to simulate drowning. It actually makes the person think that they are drowning. And if you have a weak psychological constitution, I guess, if you will, it can drive a lot of people insane, and it could cause aneurysms and kill them. You could actually die from a heart attack from the fear of drowning. So, yes, we're using tactics over there that I wouldn't wish on no one to experience or to ever have to take part in, or to even have knowledge of those things. I mean, we're doing this all the wrong way over there. We really are. I can also tell right now it's kind of a joke. Fiddler's Green. It's an ID detection camp, pretty much. What it is we have a vehicle that can go out, and we scan for improvised explosive devices like roadside bombs, mainly. That it has pressure plates that we go out and we detonate these bombs when we find them, and we record how much tons of force was behind that bomb, because we believe that right now anyway, we were believing that if we could start a trend, I think they're cooking. If we could start a trend, or no, it's sage. Sorry, they're burning sage again. That if we can figure out a trend of what, is there improvised explosives getting more advanced? Are they getting weaker, or are they staying the same? So we can see what they are doing as far as terroristic movements, if it's getting worse or if it's getting better, or if it's just neutralized, as far as still on the same keel that it had been. And to a lot of us vets that are over there.
So,
we're live streaming, just so you know.
Just so you know, you're on camera.
oh, okay. So, I want to talk about, I was here yesterday.
Okay.
It seemed to me that plywood and pallets were
Indeed.
in need.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I just went to Construction Junction,
Okay.
which is a place where people donate, you know what it is? Okay. It's well, and where are you from?
Florida.
Oh, all right. Oh, God. Nice. All right. Can you drink?
And I agree with you, Hellhound, full-heartedly on your statement. No, because we'd be no better than them. We should not use these tactics against corporations or banks, because even though
person said, and they would tell me,
it would be maybe deserved somewhat. Some people would feel that way. I, however, does not feel that way.
And he on the 5th of November.
All right, I can work on that. I think the best way to do the live streaming to around the globe would be with maybe Twitter or Facebook. But if you wouldn't mind working on me with that'd be awesome.
And whoever called up construction junction.
Because I feel like, I mean, everyone all over the world should have some more information than what's out there right now.
There's nothing but fire.
All right, I'll get ready for that too. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, he last looked at the plow yesterday when it was stuff. So I guess it becomes good. All right, now. Who is in charge? Who is the construction manager?
And were you guys able to hear us okay on this live stream?
Where are they? Because what we need to do is buy some darn pallets.
Well, that's a different story, but I can tell you.
Why is that a different story?
Well, because how we keep the money.
It's very complicated right now.
Why?
Well, because
all right, good, thank you. I also increased the frame rate at 30 frames per second because it gives us more of a clearer visual.
Problems that aren't associated with groups that have leaders.
Not as bad as Somalia.
That's true.
That's another discussion.
Anyway,
It's getting close.
As my mom used to say, money is the root of all evil. That's the love. Okay, never mind. Why don't we go outside so they can continue their discussion?
Yes.
And I'll see if I can find someone.
Thank you.
It was very nice meeting you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I will.
So,
I was just trying something because I know the device rate for the Logitech Cam was 30.
No, Flying Monkey, we can't get good
Night.
evening stuff with this camera.
No, we cannot. We
I've
need
been
one.
looking into a night cam.
There was a guy that brought in a camera. It's a home video digital camera, but all we need is a FireWire wire.
We have
And
one.
Okay, well, I didn't know because when I went in under certified cams to use, his camera was actually the top one, and it comes equipped with a light on it. And I mean, we had some excellent video resolution. We wouldn't even have to carry the laptop open. We could carry it closed and just use the viewfinder as our guide. So I'm working on trying to get him to be here full time. Right now, he's only here in the evening, so that's one possibility of an avenue I think we might be able to try. I wanted to get with you earlier about that.
And until we get that kind of camera, we'll definitely use lights. I know
Oh,
last
yes.
night was kind of crazy, but
And I didn't have time to get my flashlights. I do have some mag lights at the tent, but I just didn't have time to get there in the March at the same time. Sorry about that, you guys.
you can feed us with a wet noodle when you get here. And
Hellhounds.
how long have we been here? Total occupation since the 15th. I've been here about 4 or 5 days total.
Hellhound says he has a friend at Gander Mountain that might be able to help. Go call him.
With what?
Our needs for the media.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. Thank you, Hellhound. And please let us reiterate, we are a donation thriving only organization, movement. We rely heavily on donations from people and their generosity, and all you guys that are out there that are listening that have donated to us, we express our extreme gratitude.
Thank you, Adley.
Send them. That's awesome. Yes, I think we can reach a consensus on that one.
I'm not sure you really have to type that. But
Yeah, it's all right. For those don't have audio,
So let's actually
let's
get
get
back
back to our Yes, sorry about that, you guys.
So let me ask you, Charles, what do you think is the end result? What is the point of this entire movement? I mean, what is the 99% about? What is, say, one goal, just one thing that if we could get accomplished, what would it be in your words?
As in regard to the war aspect or the corporation aspect or all of it as a whole?
Doesn't matter. whatever problem ails America and or the world.
Oh, with this movement, what my goal is, I think our goal right now, that the one goal that we could get accomplished, and that I would love to see accomplished personally, is that we need to take the money out of these corporations and put it back into our economy and to us as individual consumers, and bust big corporated businesses back down to a small business level, and keep everyone on a level playing field where no one is allowed to use government bailout money to for their own selfish gain and their own personal agendas.
I would say, me personally, it would, again, removing any political action committee, any union money, any corporate money going into the political campaigns or anything like that, whether it be video commercials or anything of that nature. I think that the end result really is going to have to be a constitutional amendment rejecting the personhood of corporations. You see the signs that say a corporation is a person once Texas, chooses to execute, and I firmly agree with that. I think that I don't know what the answer it is, whether it's a voucher system for each person to give to their particular candidate, whether it's government-funded campaigns, or whether it is a strict limit of what individuals can donate to a political campaign or to a candidate. But I think that the lobbying has to stop. I mean, if we're going to be a government by the people, for the people, not the people, then it has, I shouldn't have to wait in line behind, 30 lobbyists that are that are flying my congressman to Fiji or Hawaii, or giving him season tickets to the Steeler game, or anything like that. I can't do that. I can't afford to buy my own congressman, and I don't think that anybody should have to. I should be able to go and sit in my congressman's office, and the only people that are in front of me are individual citizens that have their own agenda, not the agenda of a corporation, but a personal agenda.
We've had a referral from C. Bethel that we should get Combat Nick and Jet in on this conversation. They're both vets too, but Jet, the one that came in here, that was the I guess he's Cherokee.
Palestinian. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Or looks Palestinian, but he's not. He's actually Cherokee Native American.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm not sure who Combat Nick is, but I know they're in camp, but I don't think they're anywhere nearby us. If you guys want, I figure later on we could probably get all of us together and on a conversation like this.
Well, I figure we're probably just going to wrap this conversation up, maybe pick it up some other time. If that's all right with you, we'll just go ahead and say our goodbyes.
Yes, that's
next phone number is on the board behind
Tori.
Left of me is okay, I see it. So it's obviously on the media team.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen him.
I haven't either, actually. If I have, I haven't known him as that. Are we teaching any classes?
We haven't as of yet. We haven't had anybody interested.
All right. I haven't read the proposal.
But thank you guys for joining us on this live stream.
Or Craig.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Craig, Nigel, I just want to let you know I'll be gone probably in about an hour or so. I should be back the next day or so. So if you guys need anything, just give me a call.
You're asking this as a before.
What is the class scheduled for? 5 p.m. today. What is that class?
No, 5 p.m. class every day is for live stream training.
Oh, okay.
Anybody that is watching 5 o'clock tonight, live stream training, I say any night. Anybody that wants to come.
All right, and thank you guys for watching. We are going to wrap this up now. We will be back on later on, I guess. Maybe we can't make any guarantees, but if something comes up, you'll be the first ones to know. Thank you guys, and thanks for joining us. And My heart and I'm sure Tori's sentiments go out to all the vets that are over there right now, and we invite everyone to come on down and join our movement and learn about why we are here. And thank you guys. Thanks everyone for your generous contributions to this movement and donations. And I guess that's a wrap.